If we follow the history of the novel in different parts of India, we can see many regional peculiarities. But there were also recurring patterns and common concerns. What inspired the authors to write novels? Who read the novels? How did the culture of reading develop? How did the novels grapple with the problems of societal change within a colonial society? What kind of a world did the novels open up for the readers? Let us explore some of these questions by focusing primarily on the writings of three authors from different regions: Chandu Menon, Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, and Premchand. Uses of the novel. Colonial administrators found vernacular novels a valuable source of information on native life and customs. Such information was useful for them in governing the Indian society with its large variety of communities and castes. As outsiders, the British knew little about life inside the Indian households. The new novels in Indian languages often had descriptions of domestic life. They showed how people dressed, their forms of religious worship, their beliefs and practices, and so on. Some of these books were translated into English, often by the British administrators or Christian missionaries. Indians used the novel as a powerful medium to criticize what they considered defects in their society and to suggest remedies. Writers like Veerasalingam used the novel mainly to propagate their ideas about society among a wider readership. Novels also helped in establishing a relationship with the past. Some of them told thrilling stories of adventures and intrigues set in the past. Through glorified accounts of the past, these novels helped in creating a sense of national pride among their readers. At the same time, people from all walks of life could read novels so long as they shared a common language. This helped in creating a sense of collective belonging on the basis of one's language. You would have noticed that people living in different regions speak the same language in different ways. Sometimes they use different words for the same thing. Sometimes the same word is pronounced differently. With the coming of novels, such variations entered the world of print for the first time. The way characters spoke in a novel began to indicate their region, caste, or class. Thus, novels made their readers familiar with the ways in which people in the other parts of their land spoke their language. Women and the novel. Many people got worried about the effects of the novel on readers who were taken away from their real surroundings into an imaginary world where anything could happen. Some of them wrote in newspapers and magazines advising people to stay away from the immoral influence of novels. Women and children were often singled out for such advice. They were seen as easily corruptible. Some parents kept novels in the lofts in their houses out of their children's reach. Young people often read them in secret. This passion was not limited only to the youth. Older women, some of whom could not read, listened with fascinated attention to popular Tamil novels read out to them by their grandchildren. A nice reversal of the familiar grandma's tales. But women did not remain mere readers of stories written by men. Soon, they also began to write novels. In some languages, the early creations of women were poems, essays, or autobiographical pieces. In the early decades of the 20th century, women in South India also began writing novels and short stories. A reason for the popularity of novels among women was that it allowed for a new conception of womanhood. Stories of love, which was a staple theme of many novels, showed women who could choose or refuse their partners and relationships. It showed women how to control their lives to some extent. Some women authors also wrote about women who changed the world of both men and women. Ruqayya Hussain, 1880 to 1932, was a reformer who, after she widowed, started a girls' school in Calcutta. She wrote a satirical fantasy in English called Sultana's Dream, 1905, which shows a topsy-turvy world in which women take the place of men. Her novel Padmarag also shows the need for women to reform their conditions by their own actions. It is not surprising that many men were suspicious of women writing novels or reading them. This suspicion cut across communities. Hannah Mullins, a Christian missionary and the author of Corona or Phulmonir Biburan, 1852, reputedly the first novel in Bengali, tells her readers that she wrote in secret. In the 20th century, Shoilabala Ghosh Joya, a popular novelist, could only write because her husband protected her. As we have seen in the case of the South, women and girls were often discouraged from reading novels.